Hello and welcome to another video from EarnPed.com. I am Stevie B. Happy to have you all with us today. Today is January 12th, 2022. Happy New Year to all of the EarnPed viewers. I am sorry it is taking us until the 12th of January to get a video put together. However, we just finished Christmas Mayhem 2021 yesterday. So this is our first video going into 2022. I want to talk a little bit about the Mayhem that we just finished and what to expect from Mayhem moving forward in 2022. Also a little bit about a few other things that will kick off the new year for us. So let's get right to it, guys. First of all, that was a horrendous Christmas Mayhem. This thing went on for over 30 days. I think it was somewhere in the area of 33, 34 days. And it came down to the wire. So I wanted to go ahead and get this, and that way we can save it for the future. I wanted to record it as it happened, but I was horribly afraid it was going to cause a problem at the very last second. So here's the actual results. As you can see, I completed the Regolite mission chain in Annihilation. You had to have 200,000 points. We came in at 200,011. So how close to the wire did it come? The event was supposed to end at 8 a.m. I was logged in, I was grinding, and I logged out at 7:45 a.m. I got out of the instance, and I immediately went back into the instance because it reset the timer to 5 hours in the instance. The event did end at 8 a.m. However, since I was in the 5-hour instance, I could finish that instance out, and I completed the mission chain with a total of 200,011 points, with 1 hour and 13 minutes left on that timer. So I wanted to record it as it happened, but I was afraid if I started recording it would mess with the computer and do something to my connection, and if for any reason I lost connection in that instance, then I would not have been able to get back in, I would not have been able to keep killing Mayhem creatures, I would not have gotten more points, and I would not have been able to finish. So the event ended at 8 a.m., quote unquote. You can no longer enter the instance after that. I finished at like 11:30. It was 1 hour and 13 minutes exactly left on the clock in the instance. I looked at it at the moment I got that kill, and I said, I'm done. So it was a horrendous challenge to try and complete that mission chain. The Regolite mission chain for 200,000 points was horrendous. I wanted to show you guys, yes, it did get completed. I want to also put on the tuxedo for the very first time here with you guys here at Cape Cornice. So I'm still wearing my gear that I used when I ran. Here is the tuxedo, and let's go ahead and equip it. The Regolite Christmas Tuxedo Male. Okay, so it's equipped, so it can be equipped underneath armor. I'm actually going to go ahead, and it costs 2 pek every time you equip it. I'm going to protect that. Exclusively available during the Merry Mayhem. These are, now you got that at the 200,000 point mark. You got these at the 160,000 point mark. These are Regolite Jolly Christmas Mittens. We're going to go ahead and we're going to equip these also. So, live for the first time, you guys are going to see me in this gear. There it is. There's the tuxedo. So it just fits nicely over the pants. I do not believe it comes with pants. I believe it's just a shirt. Yeah, it's just a shirt. Tuxedo shirt. Not like a full tux, just the tux shirt. Let's see if it's got arms. Yes, it does. Very nice. Very nice. Tuxedo shirt, Regolite for completing the mission, and the Jolly gloves to go with it. So, wow, coming down to the wire is a mild understatement of the century, guys. So, how difficult was this thing? When I started, I had over, I believe, 1,200 Neuro A. I have about 200 left, meaning we used about 1,000 Neuro A throughout the event. Each Neuro A lasts 15 minutes. By my calculation, that's roughly 250 hours worth of grinding. Now, let me say, I could not have done this alone. I could not have done it without my dog. Also, I had to train my cat. My dog, as you know, has been trained to hit F with his little paw while he wears his little headset. And I have a cat, and I had to train my cat to do the same thing so my cat can hit F with its paw with its little headset. And without my dog and my cat, there is no way I would have been able to do this. I worked 2 straight weeks in December of 16-hour days, which is double shifts. So I was literally working for 16 hours, coming home, sleeping for like 7, and then taking a shower and going right back. So I did that for 2 weeks straight. Then I got switched over to my regular shift, which is now 10 o'clock at night to 6:30 in the morning. There is quite often a gap where I end up getting overtime and don't get off till like 7, 8 o'clock. And I'm back in the gym, finally, after 3 months, which has been horrendous. I wish I would have never taken those 3 months off, lost a lot of my progress, but back at that. So by the time I get off work, get to the gym, and get home, my sleep schedule is all screwed up. So I'm sleeping 2 or 3 hours, getting up for an hour, sleeping 2 or 3 hours, getting up for an hour. I don't sleep like 8 hours a night. I sleep like 3 times for 2 or 3 hours each. I'm actually recording this at like 10 a.m., and I've already been asleep for almost 2.5 hours after getting home from the gym. So I'll record this, get this up, and then I'm sure I'll go back to bed. So with my sleep schedule being screwed up, with having a job, the Regilite mission was almost impossible. I could not have done it without my dog and my cat. I know I ran as much as I could. I know my cat put in like 100 hours. I think my dog put in like 150. And then I think I put in like another 50 or 60. So I'm thinking that total, I think I might have actually had more Neuro A than I thought. I think we might have ran somewhere in the area of like 300 to 325 hours to get the 200,000 points we needed. So yeah, it was bad. I did not expect it to be nearly that difficult. Pretty much, if you have a job, if you have a life outside of Entropia, you were not going to finish that mission. It just wasn't going to happen. So big shout out to my cat and to my dog for helping with this. Also, a big shout out to the entire EarnPed team. Thank you to Princess, my ex. I know we don't always see eye to eye, but I really appreciate all the help. Big thank you to Mike and to Carrie. Could not have done everything I've done without them. Big thanks to Toker and to Fatty. Big shout out to Fatty there. And Fatty, our prayers are still with you. Guys, obviously, I still have a lot of things I'm dealing with. I could still use prayer for, and please remember Fatty in your prayers also. I know he's going through a lot of stuff. So, needless to say, it was an interesting mayhem. The mission was only one component of it. I did like how they did the mission. The mission rewards were awesome. We got like 9,000 Mayhem tokens just from the mission rewards. Let's check how Codex went. So, when I started, I was on Codex Repeat 4. I am now on Codex Repeat 21. Let's see, how far am I? I am 65.9% done with Codex Repeat number 21 for Merry Mayhem creatures. So I'm going to drag this up here where you guys can see it. We're going to claim reward, evade, bam, 28.9669 points worth of evade, and that is the last reward I get to claim because I already claimed all the others. So where does that put us? Well, let's see. As far as skills go, I am now a level 47.94 evader. So when I started Mayhem, I was just over level 46. I got all the way through level 46, and now I'm almost through 47. So I gained almost 2 levels during Mayhem. That is with about 17 Codex Repeat rewards. So once you hit level 47, even the repeat rewards from Codex make it exceptionally slow. The evader gains have ground almost to a halt. So needless to say, skilling evader at this point is going to be extremely difficult. I love the way the system was set up. Annihilation in general, I love the way they had more tokens dropping from higher level creatures. We actually started off in category 8. That's where we were doing a lot of grinding. We probably would have had a much higher score at a little bit lower category, but that was getting us a really good token drop rate. And we actually managed to hit a new personal all-time high. I hit a HOF for 11,000 PED. It was all shrapnel, but it was 11,000 PED. It was the highest HOF of the day that day, and that was the first 5-digit HOF I have ever hit. Now, unfortunately, that was the only HOF I hit during Mayhem. So, unfortunately, that was a one and done. I really needed a second one. Excuse me, guys. My throat's kind of sore. I really need something to drink. I really needed a second one. I know from an ammo standpoint, I'm down about 4,000 PED, I think, give or take. And from a weapon standpoint, I think I'm down another 3 or 4,000 ped. So it was almost break even. It might be a little bit to the plus side. It might be a little bit to the negative side. I'm not sure. But that 11,000 ped Hoff, it sounds great. But like I said before, those swirls and those Hoffs are never going to get you into profit. Even that 11,000 ped Hoff, that doesn't get me into profit. That just more or less takes a lot of the swings out of it. And it was a great upswing when I didn't really need it. And now that I've had a terrible downswing, I'm glad I had it, right? So, unless you're just super lucky, this is not a game where the Hoffs and the swirls are gonna make you or break you. That's not where the money is. The Hoffs and the swirls just kind of flatten out your returns. Where you make your money is in what you do in game with other players. So, getting that loot, like those boxes, those Christmas boxes to resell, getting those Mayhem tokens to get a good item that's unlimited that you can resell. That is where the profit is in Mayhem. It is not in those big swirls. That 11,000 ped, yeah, it helps. It helps out a ton. It makes things much, much easier. But at the end of the day, that's probably more or less break even. We might actually be a little bit to the negative after sitting down doing all the math. By the time you add in all the pills, all the decay, all the armor repair costs and everything, that 11,000 ped may more or less just be break even, or actually we might be down a couple thousand ped. I haven't done the math yet, but I know it's going to be very, very close. So unfortunately, it was not like this big grand opportunity to profit. However, it was nice to hit. It was nice to see on the board. It was nice to finally get a 5-digit swirl. I will tell you that. I've waited my entire career to do it. So, that being said, Mayhem overall was great. I did not get a chance to check out Free For All. I wish I could have. I usually like to go in and at least check it out every year. I did not get a chance to even go into the instance because, like I said, this came down to literally the wire. If I had lost connection, I would have been screwed. If I hadn't gotten extremely lucky in that last 6 or 7 hours, I would have been screwed. So I went into it at like 192,000 points with like 6 hours left total. That's with the 5-hour instance that I was getting to expand on the 8 o'clock deadline and everything. So at least we got it done. At least we got the tuxedo, the mittens. We managed to grind it all out. So looking ahead to Mayhem in 2022, what do I expect? I expect that we will see fewer items taken out of the Mayhem Token Trader. And here is why I say that. If we go to the Mayhem Token Trader and we look at the unlimited items, the really good stuff everybody wants. Now that I've got this, I can stop tracking this. There we go. If we look at the items everybody wants. Now, a lot of people that do Mayhem, they just get a couple of tokens and they'll come grab some pills to sell. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. A lot of people, they'll grind out Mayhem and they end up with a chunk of tokens and they'll come grab some amps or something. Okay, nothing wrong with that. But if you really truly want the big money, it is going to be in the unlimited gear. It is going to be in this kind of stuff. These prizes down here. The stuff that was previously out that they have restocked. The new stuff that they have added. This is where the big, big money is. So we have seen that some of the Mayhem Nanoblade modifieds have been redeemed. 7 of them total. There's 3 remaining. So there's 7 of these currently in game. This is the new highest prize. You have to have 2 Rare Mayhem tokens and 130,000 regular Mayhem tokens. 152.8 damage per second. So by the time you get this thing to tier 10, you're at 305.6. Yeah, 305.6. Sorry, my brain's not working. I'm tired. Damage per second. You have to be swordsman damage and hit level 140, which is absolutely insane. But this is the new highest DPS weapon in game. Clearly, it is something that a lot of people want. 86.5% efficiency. This is a career stopper. This is the weapon that you get that you no longer need any other weapons, right? So we've seen 7 of them get redeemed so far. But notice that it only requires 2 Rare Mayhem tokens to get. Let's look at some of the other stuff that they recently added to the trader whenever they decided to refill it with new items. The Mayhem Nanoblade Unmodified, 66% efficiency, 137.5 DPS, 120,000 Mayhem tokens, only 1 Rare Mayhem token. So this tells me the entire story right here. Rare Mayhem tokens are going to be the problem moving forward. Previously, before they redid Mayhem back at Halloween, the problem was the bulk tokens. It was possible to compete and win first, second, or third and get those Rare Mayhem tokens, which were formerly placement tokens. You could grab those up all day long, but the way the rewards were set up, the way the drop rate was, and the way you won tokens in mass by getting first, second, or third, you could end up with a handful of the Rare Mayhem tokens and still not have enough regular Mayhem tokens to redeem a prize. That's exactly what happened to me. Is I won like second or third several times in the lower categories. I won first once, I think. And I think I won like 5 times because I ended up with 5 Rare Mayhem tokens, so 5 placement tokens because you only got 1 each time. So I placed 5 times. After competing in and placing in the top 3 in 5 different Mayhems, I only had like 22,000 regular Mayhem tokens. So to get any of the good gear from back in the day, before they refilled the token trader, you needed, well, they changed these now, but you did need 4 Rare Mayhem tokens. But look at the number of regular Mayhem tokens you need. 110, 99, 108, 117, 80,000. So to get even the lowest prize, the LR20, you needed 12,000. Back in the day before they redid these numbers, that was like 20,000, I think. The BC30, 28,000. I think that was like 35. The LP40 Perfected 50, I think it was like 60,000. And notice you need 4 Rare Mayhem tokens for it. So the problem back in the day was you could compete over and over and place and win. And you would have the Rare Mayhem tokens that you got because you got 1 of them each time you placed first, second, or third. But you wouldn't have nearly enough regular Mayhem tokens to actually get a prize. Well, very quickly, the LR20 adjusted and the BC30 modified sold out. So you couldn't get these 2 because there just wasn't anymore. These 3 weren't here, and these 2 weren't here until they refilled the token trader. Then the LP40 Perfected sold out, and then the LB40 Improved really wasn't worth getting. And then by the time you got to the LR60 Augmented, you're at like, back then it was like 85,000 tokens. So, I mean, I was 60,000 tokens away from a prize, even though I had plenty of Rare Mayhem tokens. It was absolute insanity. Well, look at what they've done now. You need 3 Rare Mayhem tokens for the DOA Mayhem Foe Ripper Augmented. Now you only need 1 for the Azuro Adjusted. You only need, or you do need 3 for the Azuro Augmented, which seems insane to me. The Power Claw, you need 2. The Mace Basher, you need 2. The Gauss Perfected, you need 4. The Nano Chip Perfected, you need 4. 1, 1, 1, 1, or 2. 2. Notice these are almost sold out. 1, 1, 1, 2, 2. 1, 2. So what does that tell me? That tells me that Rare Mayhem tokens moving forward are going to be the issue. That tells me that from now on, because you can no longer win these, because you have to just get lucky and loot them, you can no longer place to get them, Rare Mayhem tokens are going to be the problem. People will be able to grab up Mayhem tokens in mass, just like we just did. The mission alone gave us 9,000. Right? That is a massive amount of Mayhem tokens compared to the old system. So Mayhem tokens themselves are no longer going to be the problem. Now it has flipped, rightfully so. The Rare Mayhem tokens are going to be the issue. So in 2022 and beyond, we are going to see less people redeeming prizes from the token trader because of the rare token rarity. In that entire time that I ran to complete that mission, in that almost like 250 to 350 hours, we did not get 1 single Rare Mayhem token. In all of Halloween Mayhem 2021, we did not get 1 single Rare Mayhem token. This is 2 Mayhems under the new system. I have not gotten a single Rare Mayhem token. They are that rare, they are that hard to get. So because of that, if people are just starting now, people who did not place, people who do not already have them from back when it was a competition, they are going to be insanely hard to get. So to get 4 of them is going to require a lot of luck, a ton of grinding, and many, many, many Mayhems. To get 2 or 3 is going to require a lot of luck, a lot of grinding, and many, many, many mayhems. Now, you could get lucky and score 1. Okay? That can happen. That can happen to somebody who just started yesterday and it's their very first mayhem and their very first time in the instance. Getting 1 just requires luck. But for a lot of the really good prizes that are now in the token trader, you're going to need 2, 3, or 4, which is going to require a crap load of luck and a ton of grinding. I mean, grinding more than you can possibly even imagine. So because of that, anybody who has started collecting them now, or anybody who has them from back when it was a competition that has them saved, is going to be very, very, very selective in what they get out of the token trader. Used to, it was just win as many competitions as you can, grab as much gear as you can. It's not going to be like that moving forward in 2022 and beyond. I think what we will see happen is one of two things. We will see people who very, very carefully decide what they want to get out of the token trader and save up for it, which is good for the game, good for the economy, good for the players, good for Mindark. I think what we will also see is when somebody is ready to redeem something out of the token trader, we will see more people posting on the forums and online of, hey, this is how many regular tokens I have, this is how many rare tokens I have, these are the items I can get out of the token trader, these are the items I'm willing to sell from the token trader, who is willing to pay the most money. So sometimes instead of just redeeming a prize, people will advertise that they have a certain number of tokens and a certain number of rare tokens, and they have several prizes available to them. So if you have 3 rare tokens and let's say 100,000 regular tokens, you would make a list of all the potential prizes you can redeem given the amount of tokens that you have on hand, and then you will essentially allow people to pick what they would want and see how high of a price they're willing to pay. Different people want different things. Not everybody wants a weapon, some people want a FAP. Not everybody wants a FAP, some people want armor, right? So we will see more of that because it will not be as easy to get those rare tokens, meaning more items will stay in the token trader longer. This means Mindark has a good several years before they will ever have to refill this thing. We will not see the mass emptying of the token trader that we used to because of how exceedingly rare the Rare Mayhem tokens are. They're not even Rare Mayhem tokens. They should be called mythical Rare Mayhem tokens because they're not even legendary. At this point, they're just a myth. I have yet to see one drop. And that is after a combined almost 600 hours of grinding away. So if after 600 hours I haven't looted one, it's mythically rare, right? So that being said, I think that the prices on the items in the Mayhem Token Trader will increase. This is good for those people who already own some of these items in-game. I think it will be harder to get stuff out of the Token Trader. We will see more people thinking very, very hard and saving up for the items they want to get. And we will see more people advertising the number of tokens they have for sale and what prices are available. Now, what I do not yet know is what is going to happen come Easter. I know we will have Annihilation. I know there will be some sort of a mission similar to what we have had at Halloween and Christmas. I think that's a good thing. It's a grind fest. It will not be as ridiculously hard as Christmas was, I'm sure, because of the fact that Easter is only about a week and a half, 2-week event. Most of the Mayhems are. Christmas is the exception at over a month. So come Easter, summer, and Halloween, I expect to see a similar setup with a similar difficulty. It's not going to be easy. It's going to have to be a grind fest for you to complete. However, the rewards are going to be well worth it. I think Mindark maybe overshot it. Halloween was a little bit too easy. Christmas was exceedingly too difficult, to say the least. So I think there is a happy medium in there somewhere. There cannot be that many people who finish this mission. I'm sure there's a handful, but it cannot be that many given the amount of hours that it took. We were in Category 8 till well over 100,000 points were accumulated. That's where I hit the 11,000 pet Hoff. We dropped to Category 7. We were still grinding great, and we were getting a good number of tokens, but the points were coming a little bit faster. And when it became apparent that it was now a point issue and no longer a issue of how fast the tokens drop, because the reward from the mission was far better than the token drop rate inside the instance itself, we actually dropped to Category 6 to just accumulate points as fast as we possibly could. The problem is, as you go down, it actually becomes harder to accumulate points. The odds of a mob giving you a good point of war, like 1,000 to 2,500 points, goes up as the level of the creature increases, just like the drop rate for the tokens goes up as the level of the creature increases. So if you go down to category 1, you can slaughter them all day long. Your score isn't going to be very high. If you're in category 10, you're going to slaughter very, very slowly, and you'll get points, and you might even get some good awards, but your score's not going to be very high. So we kind of had to find a happy medium. I almost went to category 5 there at the very end. I did not. I'm glad I didn't, because I might not have finished if I had. I had several 1,000 point awards that last couple hours that really helped make it actually possible. I thought it was going to come down to the wire, and I was going to miss it by an inch, which would have really, really been horrible. But luckily that did not happen. So we had to start off going for the tokens and the drop rate. I'm glad we did because of the HOF, but we did end up having to drop all the way to category 6 simply for the points. I think they need to make it a little bit easier, because a lot of people do have jobs, a lot of people do have lives and family, and they don't have a trained cat and a trained dog and an entire circus of trained animals that can help them grind. So between family, work, and sleep, most people are only going to be putting in, 3, 4, 5 hours a day during Mayhem. That might even be a little bit much to ask of people. I know not everybody is supposed to complete the mission, that is the point, but if we have an issue like we did at Halloween with defense, where only like 2 or 3 people in the entire game can complete it, that's not good for the game either. This is what I'm waiting to see whenever Easter rolls around. Easter usually has a survival instance similar to survival at Halloween. The only difference is you're essentially not just trying to survive, you're trying to keep the robots at Easter from destroying a data interceptor in the middle of the arena. And it starts off kind of same survival as Halloween, and the robots essentially get gradually harder to kill. There at the very end, the trick that we used to use back in the day when it was a competition was whenever they became so strong that you could not inflict damage on them. Which usually, I believe, happened around the 2-hour mark, somewhere in there. What you would do is, it didn't matter. You could have DPS at the category limit. You could have tier 10 full enhancers. You could have an amp. You could overamp it just a hair. You could have all the pills running, all the reload speed that you wanted. It would not matter, because at some point they got so strong you just weren't inflicting any damage, much less actually killing anything. So if that was your strategy, you were very quickly going to be out of the instance, because at that point they were just going to overrun the data interceptor. So what we would do, those of us who actually managed to win first place in that category, woohoo, myself included, is you would switch to a gun that had DPS that did not matter. The DPS did not matter at all. You wanted attacks per minute. If you had a gun with a horrendously high amount of attacks per minute, with your reload speed between your rings, your gear, and your pills, you could push that number through the roof. And essentially what you did is you wanted to run very, very quickly. You wanted your run speed maxed out, and you would just pick a mob, pick a robot, and you would hit it as many times as you could, 5, 6 times, very, very quickly in a matter of a second or two. And that would make the mob focus on you. It would not focus on the data interceptor anymore. Now it's going to start chasing you. And you wanted to essentially be able to just outrun the mob. So you would start running around the arena in a circle, and you're shooting the mobs that are going toward the data interceptor, and you just ping them 5 or 6 times, and then you would have them chasing you, and you would have this giant mob train behind you, and then as wave after wave came, you would just keep doing this until eventually you died. You would eventually die, because no matter how fast you were running, there would be some amount of damage that you had to take. Because of the fact that you actually had to aim and select a certain mob, they would be able to catch up with you at certain points. There's also robots in that instance that can throw attacks. They can throw electric balls that would eventually hit you, and those would slow you down. If they slowed you down, obviously you would get overran very, very quickly. So one of the weapons that a lot of us actually used for Easter defense was the Azoro, just the basic noob gun, the Azoro, because it's got a very high reload speed. In fact, people look on auction, they're like, why do these sell on auction at all? Well, a lot of times they would sell on auction at Easter Mayhem, because instead of going and trying to grind one, you would just find some noob that posted one on auction for sale. You'd pay a ped for it, and it gave it this insanely high markup. But it was 1 ped, and percentage-wise it was high, but I mean, what is 10 cents compared to the amount of time you're saving from trying to go actually find one and loot one, right? So at the very end, we would switch from whatever high DPS full enhancer weapon we were using over to something like an Azoro, and we would just use it to ping them 5 or 6 times, run in a circle, ping them 5 or 6 times, run in a circle. I'm hoping that they stick with a setup more like that than they do what they did at Halloween. Reason being is at Halloween, survival is never supposed to be about killing all the creatures in the instance. It's supposed to be about being smarter and playing the game from a strategic standpoint and surviving. That's why it's called survival. At Halloween, it was a 20-stage mission, and after the first 5 stages, it became impossible unless you had excruciatingly high DPS. I never could finish round 6. So the problem was, after round 5, they were already so strong at Halloween that I was using an LR45, full enhancers, all 10 tiers, full amp, full reload speed, and they were so strong, the LR45 maxed out with enhancers was not killing them quickly enough. So I got to the very, very end, I got overran, and I died. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try this and just survive. So I tried again, I took off running, I outran the entire instance, I ran down the timer, all the mobs were still alive, and I failed again. And I got a message that I failed because I didn't kill all the creatures. Well, it was survival, you weren't supposed to have to kill them, that wasn't the point. But now that they've changed to this new system, I guess that is the point. So I'm hoping they don't do that at Easter. I'm hoping Easter is truly a survival competition. I would love to see Mindark set it up so that, yes, you have to survive 20 stages. However, it doesn't matter how you do it as long as you survive. It doesn't mean that you have to kill every single robot in that instance so long as you survive. They could easily do that and base it off of the timer. If you can get to a certain time point, a certain number of stages that you've gone through, then as you do that, the mission completes. That would be ideal, as that would actually make it doable for the majority of players. If they set it up similar to how they did at Halloween, there's going to be virtually no point in doing it, because once you get to stage 5, maybe 6, most players are already going to not be able to progress further than that. Messi, JBK, and Eve will be able to, and Bonnie, but that would be about it. We don't need Mayhem being something where every other Mayhem, the secondary competition is so ridiculously difficult that only 5 or 6 people can complete it. So I would really like to see them get it right at Easter with defense. I already have a lot of gear that I would need for a defense competition. I can actually max out from item and action my critical damage inflicted. All I've got to do is increase my critical chance. I can do that easily with pills and a certain ring that I will need to borrow from somebody or rent from somebody, but that's easy enough to do. So we will see how that goes. So as of right now, I'm officially announcing my Mayhem career is over. As of this point, it's done. As of right now, I can lock in one of the 2 prizes I want to lock in. I could redeem it right now and just be done with Mayhem forever. Why am I not doing that? Because of how rare those Rare Mayhem tokens are. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to keep collecting Mayhem tokens and hope that I can get the prize that I really want to redeem, the one I've always wanted to redeem. Hopefully I will be able to do that. It might take me several more Mayhems. I have enough Rare Mayhem tokens, just not regular Mayhem tokens. But to put this into perspective, guys, at Halloween I think I had like 21,000 Mayhem tokens total. I've now got well over 50. Headed to 130 very, very quickly. So, that being said, will I still be doing Mayhem? Yes, because I still need more tokens. At this point, do I have to take it nearly as seriously as I have? No. At this point, my Mayhem career is pretty much over from here on out. It's just grinding it out until I get what I want. So, that being said, 2022 I'm sure will be full of more changes to the game. I'm sure Mindark has a lot more things planned. I like the way they've done a lot of things. I don't like the way they've done some things. But in general, I think Mindark is headed in the right direction. I have to spend a lot of time going through storage, going through inventory. I have to sell a ton of stuff. My ped card is screaming. My storage is a mess. One thing I did want to mention is somebody told me that new Treasure Island deeds did not pay out last week. That does make sense to me because practically everybody was grinding Mayhem, so why would they pay out? The whole new Treasure Island thing still does not make sense to me. They said they might put some space mobs on there. They didn't say they would for sure, and that's the very first thing they did. It's still sketchy how the shares were bought up. I'm still very, very happy with CP shares. They're holding at about 18 pet each. They have for some time now. Ancient Greece, still not a fan, still will not buy in. So let's be sure I just put that out there for you guys. I will be spending the next couple of weeks redoing my inventory, putting a lot of stuff up for sale on auction. I will be making videos specifically about gear I have for sale that I will not be selling on auction, that I will only be selling through private chat. I do have some earned ped withdrawals to pay out. If you've emailed me or messaged me in game since the beginning of Mayhem, bear with me, give me a day or two. I will go through all my messages and get everybody replied to and get everybody paid. It has been horrendous from a time constraint, guys, so I apologize from that. After I get all that done, after I get inventory sorted, everything sold on auction that needs to be sold, everybody paid for earned ped, I will probably take a break from being planet side, and I will probably go up to space and do some repair skilling. Reason being is it would be a nice change of pace at this point, and it will help me work on my defense goals now that Evader has gotten so horrendously hard to get up further. Just to show you guys some progression, I started the competition at level 60 laser and BLP sniper hit, and just shy of 60 range laser and BLP damage. I think I was like at 57, no, I think I was at 56 range BLP damage, and I think I was right at 60 laser damage. So now I'm at 67 laser sniper hit, BLP sniper hit. I'm at 63 range laser damage and range BLP damage. Notice the gap between the two is really starting to narrow down to almost nil. I did run BLP the vast majority of the time. Vast majority. So there was some skill progression there on the weapon side, even though I only got almost 2 levels on the evader side. So very excited about things that are going to be happening in 2022. We're going to leave it there for today. This video's ran longer than I wanted, but I will be back with more content for you guys in the next couple of days and throughout 2022. So I hope you all have a great year. Please keep us in your prayers as we are still in the fight of our life, and only God can help us. If you guys would pray for us daily, it would be greatly appreciated. Hopefully we will end up eventually being victorious. It's just a matter of having faith and trust that God's going to see us through. At this point, that's the only thing that can make this happen. So do I believe we will be victorious? Yes. Do I have faith that we will? Yes. Is that where all my trust is? Yes, because this is the mission of a lifetime. This is the only score that matters, not a game. I would much rather win this battle and have lost Mayhem than to win Mayhem and lose this battle. I've never had a battle this big, this important in my entire life. So please keep us in your prayers. Also, remember Fatty. Fatty is really going through it. Fatty, if you're out there and you're watching this, brother, I think of you almost every single day, and I'm so sorry for what you're going through, man. I hope to be able to talk to you about it really soon, but please keep Fatty in your prayers also. Guys, we will be back with more content for you in the next couple of days. For everybody from Earn Ped, Smack, Sip, F the haters. If you want to help support us, the best way to do that is via Earn Ped, because when you earn, we earn. So we thank you to all the Stevies out there. We hope you all had a very happy Merry Mayhem, and we hope to see you all in 2022. Sip, Smack, F the haters, and we will see you guys soon. Take care, Stevies.